Welcome back to my channel. My name is Corey, and this is my budget Ramirez DePietro Pirate EDH deck. So Ramirez is a Dimir legend. He's a pirate, first striking, 4/3 first striker, for 6 mana, 3 colors, black, black, blue. I tried to build this budget deck on between $30 to $40, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of my creatures were pirates, ships, krakens, things that pirates would encounter, sirens, fun creatures, and artifacts like cannons, explorer scopes, fountains, fountain of youth, fountain of life, things like that. So for the most part, pretty much everything in here had a purpose. The deck was not made to be competitive, but it was made to be a fun theme, gimmick, pirate build. And I've got my deck list up on Tapped Out if anybody is interested, or if you want, you can check it out in the description. Let's get into it. I run quite a few, there's our general. I run quite a few basics. I didn't run any fetches. I wanted this to be a strictly budget build. And so my strict budget build, oh, come on. That's a pain. Deck doesn't want to stand up. Okay. I ran 5. Oh no. Sorry for that. 5 basic swamps. I run 14 basic islands. And then when we get into my non-basic... Saprzen, scary, fun land. It's got a little coral atoll out in the water. Just has depletion counters, nothing special. Arcane Lighthouse, it's a lighthouse. Keep you from hitting the land. Pirates need lighthouse. You know, back then they probably didn't have that many of them. Anyways, for commander, you know, creatures your opponents lose, hexproof and shroud, and can't have hexproof or shroud until end of turn, I believe. Yeah. Coral Atoll, really cool land. It's got a ship down on the bottom. It's just essentially just a bounce land. Nephalia Drown Yard, one of my favorite non-basics. It's a mill, Dimir Mill. Pay 3, tap, mill 3 cards. It's got a ship in the background. Tainted Isle, looks like an evil lair for a pirate and his merry crew. Saprzen Cove, really cool art. Has a ship in it. I can assume it's a pirate ship. Just assumptions. Rootwater Depths, really fun Tempest card. I mean, it's colorless or blue-black, but doesn't untap. Svelionite Temple is just an underwater temple. Really cool land. Bajuka Bog, I'm running black, and this was a relatively inexpensive black card. It has utility. Exile all cards, you know. Pirates probably run into bogs. Dreadship Reef is a storage land. You know, it has Dreadship in the name and Reef. Couldn't avoid that one. Halimar Depths is Brainstorm on my tapped land. Oh, the deck fell forward. This table's so slippery, and I'm throwing cards now. Halimar Depths, merfolk in the background. Lonely Sandbars, sandbar out in the middle of the water. Pirates need to avoid that. Draw Our Refuge, looks like a skull layer, island in the middle. Gain life, pretty cool. Tech. Rogue's Passage, pirates can be rogues as well. Bandits might need to get something through unblockable. It's not going to have super huge creatures that need to be unblockable, but there are some pretty big monsters. And my last non-basic Radiant Fountain's really cool. I was just thinking Fountain of Life, Fountain of Youth. You know, so I went with Radiant Fountain as a non-basic. Now we get into our artifacts. For the most part, they all have some sort of purpose. Only one is just a generalized ramp, and it was just because it was super cheap. So I'm running Quicksilver Fountain to give everybody islands, flood everything, give my island walkers a chance. Really cool. Plus it has Fountain in the name. Chalice of Life is really fun. You can tap it. I gain a life, and if I have at least 10 more than I started, so 50, I can flip it, and it flips into Chalice of Death. Tap, target loses 5. Pirates go for the Fountain of Youth. It turns, their trip turns evil, or turns south. That kind of story. Grappling Hook, you know, pirate tech, pirate equipment. Can't go wrong with that. Explorer Scope, really fun, find lands. Lux Cannon, just a big pirate cannon that can destroy permanents. Worn Power Stone, the generic ramp. I didn't use Soul Ring, it was just too expensive. Fodder Cannon, sacrifice a creature, deal 4 damage to something else. Predator Flagship, it's a ship, you can destroy target creature, really cool. Hall of Triumph, just a cheap ramp spell or creature boost, +1/+1 for blue. For 3 mana is not bad. Everflowing Chalice, it's just a chalice pirates might go after, just another mana rock. Expedition Map, I can go search for any of my fun lands if I want, or just a basic, it doesn't really matter. Warbarge Artifact, target creature gains Island Walk, and then I can destroy that creature if if Warbarge leaves play. Let's get into my enchantments. Quest for Ula's Temple, really funny. Beginning of my upkeep, I get to look at the top card and reveal it and put a quest counter on. If it's a creature, I should say, and I get to put a quest counter on. And then beginning of each end step, if there are 3 more counters, I may put a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent from my hand onto the battlefield. So when I get to my creatures, this will be pretty helpful when late game I can just cheat a creature into play. Inexorable Tide, it's got Tide in it. When you cast Proliferate, not very important unless I'm looking at Everflowing Chalice or Lux Cannon or something like that. Hedonist Trove, Pirates Like Gold. I get to exile all cards from an opponent's graveyard and then play those exiled cards. I may play land cards exiled with Hedonist Trove. And I may also cast non-land cards exiled that way. But I can't cast more than 1 spell that way each turn. So there's a limit, but I can continue to do it. I'm losing all of my stuff here. Alright, as the pile thins, I'm going to move this forward. So we got Greed. Just, black, pay 2 life, draw a card. Treasure Trove, Pirates Like Treasure, pay 4, draw a card. Legacy's Allure, I get to put a treasure counter if I want, and then I can sacrifice it and permanently gain control of something with the same number of counters or less. Flood, 1 blue enchantment, blue to tap a creature without flying. Not bad, can keep you alive. Censorship, this is a fun one. Pirates have really foul mouths. I thought this was a really fun card to play. I've seen Star City Games versus series, the Commander versus series, where they've put it on no, and people have almost nearly died to just saying no. So it was really fun looking. Sorry about that, everybody. Here we go. Alright, Coastal Piracy, 4 mana. Whenever a creature I control deals damage to an opponent, I get to draw a card. War Tax, I didn't have the money for propaganda, so I went with War Tax. You pay something on an opponent's turn before they attack you, and creatures can't, attack unless they pay that much for each creature. And let's get into our fun creatures before I hit my sorceries and instants. So my other spells, but we're going to get into some of the fun creatures. We got Shipwreck Singer, it's a Siren. It's a 1/2 flyer for blue-black. Scourge of the Fleets, it looks like we're already hitting our first Kraken. Rishadan Cutpurse is a pirate, a 1/1 pirate, and most of these pirates have some sort of effect where they have to sacrifice a permanent unless they pay 1, 2, or 3. Mana War, you just don't want to mess with jellyfish. Even a pirate should know better than to mess with a jellyfish. Rishadan Footpad, sacrifice a permanent unless they pay 2. Brigand, unless they pay 3, but it's a 3/2 flyer for 5. Lorthos, legendary creature octopus, he's fun. Frost taps creatures if you pay 8. Dulcet Sirens, we got more Sirens. They were really fun. You pay 3, and then later on you can pay 1 and tap them to, force somebody's creature to attack another player. In multiplayer, it's really fun. Deep Sea Kraken, suspend for on 9 turns. You get a 6/6. Not bad. Breaching Leviathan. It's a 9/9. You know, I can tap all non-blue creatures to frost tap them if I cast it from my hand. Storm Surge Kraken can become a 7/7, and if it becomes blocked, I draw 2 cards as long as I've got Ramirez out on the battlefield. Carnivorous Death Parrot. I was looking for a really fun card, and, you know, Unhinged Unglued Cycle was decent for my Ramirez. But, you know, what's a pirate without his parrot? Tromocritus, another legendary. It's an 8/8 for 7. Can't be blocked unless all creatures defending players control block it. And it generally has hexproof as long as it's just sitting on the battlefield. Colossal Whale's a 5/5 for 7 with Island Walk and Fountain. My Quicksilver Fountain gives everybody islands. And whenever he attacks, I may exile target creature defending player controls until he leaves the battlefield. So we can just keep swallowing creatures. Fat Adele, legendary Merfolk, Island Walk. Then if it deals combat damage to a player, I get to search for an artifact and exile it. So I get to remove an artifact and possibly even play it. Cloud Pirates, just really fun looking card. These guys are having fun, you know. They can only block creatures with flying, but it's a 1/1 flyer for 1. Can't complain about that. Ramirez is happy. Blighted Agent, it's a rogue with Infect. He's unblockable, 1/1 for 2. Just kind of like an alternate win con. Blighted Agent's kind of fun card to play with. Denizen of the Deep. This isn't the art I'm used to. One of my first rares was the old school Denizen of the Deep, but it's in 11/11 for 7. So if I don't have anything else out and I pay 7, I get an 11/11 and I don't have to return anything in my hand. Rishodon Airship. It's a 3/1 flyer for 2. Nothing special. Reef Pirates is a 2/2 for 3. And if it deals damage to an opponent, put the top card into the graveyard. It's just a mill ship. Steam Frigate. It's a 3/3, but can only attack if they have an island with Quicksilver out. Hopefully everybody has an island. Same with Pirate Ship. They need an island to play. And I can also just shoot a cannonball, tap it to ping something, or kill a creature. Hammerhead Sharks, just really cool. Sphere in a Day. Really like sharks. Gotta play pirate. Sharks in my pirate deck. The alternate, I guess, commander or general for this deck, the Skeleton Ship.
Can someone come down to...
Kukesma Pirates is really cool. It's a 2/2 for 4, but if he attacks and is not blocked, instead of dealing damage, I can steal an artifact that a player controls. Shipbreaker Kraken, just a 6/6 with Monstrosity 4 to turn it into a 10/10. But, you know, that's only if you play the extra Monstrosity. Ghost Ship is a flyer for 4. It's a 2/4 flyer that can also regenerate itself for 3 blue from the dark. Merfolk Assassin, if I use Warbarge or something else to give something Island Walk, I can destroy target creature that has Island Walk with Merfolk Assassin. Stormtide Leviathan has Island Walk and everything else turns into islands. Creatures without flying or Island Walk can't attack. Perfect. Armored Galleon is a 5/4 for 5 that needs an island in order to attack, but it's a cool ship. I've got a Coralberry. It's Defender. Just gives you 2 creatures. I don't have a 1/1 blue squid token that I need. But the squid has Island Walk. So, you know, pay 3 for a Defender and a Island Walking squid. We got Woo Warships is a 3/3 for 3. Just needs another island in order, just have to have an island under their play to attack. Thief of Blood is a super, super powerful card late game. It's a vampire, but he is a thief, which is why I included him, and he can be really, really powerful. I can also use some cards to increase pump up the counters on him. But when he enters the battlefield, I get to remove all counters from all permanents and put them onto him. Or her. I believe that's a her. Her Hunger, yep. Submerge. Now we're getting to my instance. I only have a few instances and just a few sorceries. The last few cards of the deck. Submerge is really cool. I get to, put target creature on top of its owner's library. If they have a forest, if an opponent has a forest and I have an island, I get to do it for free. So not bad. Illusionist Gambit. Really fun combat trick. Nothing special. Remove all attacking creatures and untap them, and then they go again, but they can't attack me or Planeswalker I control. Capsize with buyback. Perfect. It's blue deck. You gotta capsize some things. Plus, there's a ship. Treasure Cruise is fun. It's a good sorcery. Get to delve, draw 3 cards. It's a ship on some treasure. Tidal Surge, pay 2 to tap up to 3 creatures. Sometimes it can save you from losing the game. Blatant Thievery, pay 7. For each opponent, you get to gain control of a permanent that you target. Whelming Wave, if I've only got, sea monsters out, then I can keep them and everybody else has to return everything. Stolen Identity, I can put a target, copy of something onto the battlefield, artifact or creature, and use Cipher as well. Stolen Goods, target opponent exiles a card from the top until he exiles a non-land card. Till end of turn, I may cast that card without paying its mana cost. So, hopefully I target somebody with a, playing green, big, or Eldrazi, just big creatures. Usually fun. And the last card is Treasure Hunt the Sorcery. Reveal cards until I get to a non-land card, and then put all revealed cards this way into my hand. So, generally pretty fun. Not a bad deck. It was built on a small budget. Let me know what you think in the comments, questions. Sorry that the deck tech was a little shaky. I had a lot of issues putting this together. But feel free to let me know what you think, what you would like to see. Check out my Tapped Out channel, my website. But yeah, I like building budget decks. I like making deck techs for people. For me, this is a lot of fun. I like showing people that, Commander doesn't have to be $1,000 decks to be super expensive. So, this is it for me. Thanks for watching.